Scanning. Identity authorized. Welcome to the Secret Superhero Club Podcast Network.
Welcome everybody to the Animation Station Podcast. My name is Josh, and today I am joined by Oliver.
What's up?
I had to pause at least 10 seconds there. And Graham.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And Oliver from the wonderful Animation Station Podcast, one of our wonderful hosts and DC correspondent.
Mm-hmm.
And Graham from the Anime Book Club on Facebook and Unlocked.
Whew, good to be here.
Alright, so today we're here to talk about Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and how much I loved it.
Yes.
Yep.
Spoilers for Avengers Endgame starting now. Thor got fat.
Oh, it's all simulation.
Yes. Is that it? Thor got fat? That's all we got? And
And he teaches a bunch of kids how to play baseball. And then they win the Little League World Series. And so they can save the local town park.
You know what? That could be Thor 4.
So Thor can dual wield. That's about it.
Yep.
Oh, so Thor's like playing Halo 2 so he can dual wield now?
Pretty much,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
He can,
nice.
and he has a buddy, to pass it off, one of his weapons off to.
Who does he pass a weapon off to? Oh, yeah, what's her face? Hot girl, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Black Canary.
Black Canary. No, what's her name? Like, seriously, what's her name? I don't remember.
It's a Shayera Hall.
Not her. Not the actress's name. What's the?
No.
Character's
That's the character alter ego, Shayera Hall.
I thought it was Valkyrie.
No.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch that show. But you know
It's
what show I do watch?
Yo, boy, Jake Weiler.
Okay.
Wait, where was what? Hold on, you got me so all over the place. Now we're talking about not another team. Welcome everybody to a special episode of the Animation Station where we're gonna break down.
I'm an anime, right?
No, we don't talk about anime on this show.
Why am I here?
That's a great question. Why are you here, Graham? We're gonna talk about everybody's favorite movie, Not Another Teen Movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Graham, have you seen Not Another Teen Movie?
No.
Graham. Graham, have you seen Eurotrip?
No.
Graham, why?
Because I don't see good movies.
Apparently. Graham, do you
That's
watch...
like, technically they're not good movies, but they're funny.
No, they're not good. They're great.
Well, if they're bad movies, then there's a better chance that I've seen them.
Okay. Well, Graham, have you watched Game of Thrones?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to do an episode on Game of Thrones.
Okay. Yeah, I can talk
Well,
about
dang. Sorry, Oliver. I know we had other plans, but I guess we're just gonna do what? Do you want to do like the first 3 episodes of season 8?
Let's do the back half.
The back half of season 8.
All right, 4, 5, 6.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, I didn't watch it. So I haven't watched 4, 5, and 6 yet. I'm sorry.
Oh boy, do I have spoilers for you then.
Yeah, man, we're gonna predict the ending of Game of Thrones.
We're
That's gonna be what
we're gonna predict the ending of Game of Thrones at the end of this episode, and then we're going to watch 4, 5, and 6, and then we're gonna see how close who won. We're gonna see who was the closest.
The elephants win. They come back.
The Cersei wins because she was on an elephant the entire time and nobody could reach her.
Yep. So she flew on Dumbo above everybody, above the dragons.
Yep.
I mean, Dumbo's fast. Those dragons, and because honestly, Danny and John don't know how to ride those dragons.
No.
Yeah. Then
you know who does know how to ride dragons? Hiccup
The
and
Night King.
Astrid.
Oh.
Yeah.
So welcome everybody to a special episode on How to Train Your Dragon, The Dark World. That's not it. The Hidden World. The Dark World. That's a Thor movie.
That's a Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Can
It
you
all
imagine
goes
if
back
it was
to
How to Train Your
Endgame.
Dragon, The Dark World. And they have to go fight. I don't know what happened in Thor: The Dark World.
The Frost King. Frost Giants. I don't know.
The Ice King.
So
Yes.
Shoot the Dark World might be the real name for episode 3. Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. There are like 3 colors in the entire episode, like blue, black, and orange.
Yep.
You know. Anyway, welcome to
an
a
orange
special,
gray.
But welcome to a special Game of Thrones. After that, 10 minutes of vamping. Welcome to a special Game of Thrones spoiler episode where we are going to be spoiling the first 3 episodes of Season 8 of Game of Thrones. And then we're going to be doing the last 3 episodes of Game of Thrones at a later date. Because they're not out yet. So.
Spoilers, everyone either loves or hates Arya.
Pretty much, yeah.
My goodness gracious. Yeah, and we're going to talk about some of those fan theories, because I'm gonna, finger quote theories, because they're all garbage.
Yep. Pretty much. Anybody who was using like hardcore book knowledge or whatever to try to predict things, they're SOL. They're SOL and all that.
If you were trying to predict, hardcore book knowledge to try and predict things, you were already screwed because of Sansa. Like, Sansa's nowhere near Winterfell. Like, don't even worry about her. So, like, everything's already out the window with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Heck, Jon's still dead. So
yes.
Like,
he's in Ghost.
He's in Ghost. He's taking a dirt nap. Summer is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
For that fact, Jojen Reed is still alive.
Winter is still alive.
But he may be paste that they gave to Bran.
No. That's
yes.
the dumbest. Shut up. That's another theory that is just stupid.
But it's true.
No. You know a theory that's not stupid or true? Wait. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's.
It's a smart theory that wasn't true.
Anyway, spoilers from here on out of season 8 of Game of Thrones. So we've got 3 episodes so far. We've got episode 1, Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and then episode 3, A Long Night. Sorry, The Long Night.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark World.
The Dark World. So what did first impressions of? Because, I mean, we're not going to go through, like, the whole... We're going to pick individual plot points, because if you've not seen these first 3 episodes, then I don't know why you're listening to this, because it doesn't make any sense. And plus, go listen to A Cast of Kings or Storm of Spoilers if you want, like, actual, in-depth coverage. We're just going to give you thoughts.
Yep.
So what did you guys think of Winterfell?
Winterfell, overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. That it set the table for kind of where everybody's going to be, like the rest of the season. It was the shortest episode, but you got a taste of what Cersei's doing in King's Landing and everything, and then everybody converging on Winterfell. Yeah. And I think they did a good job of having like initial reunions and things. That was actually a good precursor to the second episode, so it did what it was supposed to.
Yeah, it's like a table dressing episode for an actual table dressing episode, but the episode that it dressed the table for was better.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on what you're looking for with a lot of these episodes. Like from the people I've talked to and everything, the majority of the people I talk to like don't really like the first 2 episodes, especially the second. And then absolutely love the third. I'm a big fan of the first 2 because, like, at this point in the series, so many of these characters we've seen now for 8 seasons. We've spent tons of time following their stories, really getting invested in them. And honestly, like, this is like the play the Mass Effect games. This is like when you're traveling to the last mission and like you have one final scene with like with your romantic option, and you talk to everyone one last time, and it's like the we're about to go into hell type of like moment, and it's like your last breath. I don't know.
So Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And like I don't know, I like those moments. They're very sentimental. They're very powerful, and like because you know what's coming, and I guess maybe we thought episode 2 might have a little more action, but like in general, like when I was watching the first episode, I was enjoying every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, to me, the first episode, like, it was good. Like, I loved all of the reunions. I didn't like that we lost my 4th favorite character, and little Eddard Umber.
Yep.
That hurt.
Wall art now.
Yeah, he's definitely wall art.
Nice jump scare.
Oh, that was so good. When he's hanging up on the wall and then his eyes open, I was like...
It's like, no.
Tormund, turn around!
It was so good. By the way, I love that, like, their eyes, like, the last 2 seasons have been really, really bright, vibrant blue,
Yeah.
it makes it like it pops out, and it
very
makes
unsettling.
it look so good.
Yep.
Oh man, but no, like I thought it was good. Like I liked all of our our meetings of everybody. The Arya stuff was great, where she got to meet everybody again. She got to see the Hound. She got to see Jon. She got to see my number one favorite character Gendry. My boy, who was Rowan for like 7 years, but he made it.
Arms.
So he made it. He made it, man.
Yeah. So like that made me happy.
Well, it's important right now. He's Gendry's like he's in the forge. He's making all those weapons to fight the White Walkers and everything. Like, man's busy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought it was cool too. Like this is where Arya like decides that she's gonna meet him. It's like she could have grabbed him anywhere, but she's like, I'm gonna wait till he gets to the forge.
Yeah.
Because that's what she do.
Yeah.
Like that's where that's where he's most comfortable.
And she also asked him like to make like a spear for her.
Yep.
It's kind of more in the second episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because that's when he gets the spear.
Yeah, that's
and the other spear.
Exactly. Yeah, that's when double spearings happen. She gets 2 spears that night. Jeez.
We're bad.
This also hide your kids. This is going to be a weird episode. Yeah, like the one part that I didn't particularly care for was the whole dragon flying scene. It went too long. Like if it just would have been like you see them, take off and then they arrive in a secluded place. It's like, oh, okay. It's weird that this guy knows how to like ride a dragon.
I think out of all of the ships, both confirmed and speculative, and like out of all of them, Jon and Dany, that's one of the ones I care probably the least about, to be perfectly honest.
Well, it's really forced too. They're like, we have to put these two together. So, when did they start doing that? Season 7 episode, like
halfway through, like when they first meet.
Is that when we really started to kind of like push it?
Yeah, it's like whenever they both were in the cave or whatever with the chalk drawings.
Yes.
Yeah, Jon making this chalk drawing.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was so good. You're like, I've seen the Night King. This is what he looks like.
So Night King don't have no beard.
He's like, he's like, Your Grace. He does. I've seen it.
He's shaved. He's shaved.
He's shaved. He's part of our sponsors, Dollar Shave Club. I'm just kidding, we're not sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. But the Night King is sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. But no, like it just seems like really, really forced. Unlike like Jaime and Brienne. Jaime and Brienne is great.
Oh my god.
Arya and Gendry. It's one of those like that went for 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets abducted, and she kind of goes ballistic a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back, and you're like, oh, my boy. Yeah, so, I mean, that, I like that. Like, that's a good one.
They just have a lot of things not going for them. Like, honestly, I feel like the actors as well don't really have good chemistry. There are a lot of things I just don't like about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird like dynamic that they have. It's like in a movie where you only have 2 hours, but you have to make these 2 people fall in love, and that's kind of what they did. They just kind of like jammed it together to where it doesn't seem true, like the majority of all of our other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Sansa and Joffrey, even that was more believable.
Yeah. Of course, then of course Jon and Ygritte.
Oh yeah, Jon and Ygritte's was a good one because that was that is a good because they had chemistry together so much so that they got married. So,
exactly.
Like that's how you can like that chemistry was good because you could feel that chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, knowing where that was going, that was always going to be hard.
Yep.
Yeah. Like oh boy, Graham, did you read the books?
I started reading them. Like way back in like late middle school, early high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just dropping them being like, this isn't whatever. This isn't. I remember just not liking him as a kid.
Okay. See, well, what about you, Oliver?
I'm just a show only guy, really.
Show only guy. And I have read every book in George R. R. Martin's The Song of Ice and Fire. No, it's one of those I've read the books, a couple times. So obviously I know where the majority of the series was going. Obviously, we've taken different routes. We've not introduced some characters like my archer friend Anguy. I don't think he ever got introduced, unless it was very, very short.
Catelyn Stark hasn't been brought back.
Exactly, yeah. We don't have Catelyn Stark. But not my favorite character in the books is Bran. Because I love those nice long history set pieces. Because Bran is basically the reader. Because everybody is going to tell him a story. Whether it be Old Nan, Master Pycelle, not my Pycelle. My
Dang.
goodness. Wow.
I didn't know he went south.
Yeah, he went south. Master Ludwin, Amira, or Jojen Reed. People are going to tell him wonderful stories. And that's why I love Bran. Plus, he's the first named character that you get at the beginning of the series. And it's also one of those I think he's going to be the first character, and I think he's also going to be the last character. To me, that way he's the perfect bookend. As Bran, and then wherever he goes, Three-Eyed Raveny, which I hope that Martin doesn't take him in the same direction that the show took him in.
Dr. Bran Hatton.
See, because he's just so blah, I don't care about anything.
So, although I will say, it's season 8 characterization of Bran a whole lot better than season 7 characterization of Bran.
Oh God, it's
yeah.
You were so beautiful that day. I watched it. I didn't even have to pay the extra $9.99 a month. You know? It's weird. Yeah. Go. So anyway, we were talking about episode 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the dragon thing. That looked weird.
Cersei's pregnant. That's pretty big.
Is Cersei pregnant? Yeah, no, Cersei's pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh God, and it's she gave in to Euron so quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did like that Theon. It's do. I'm gonna go steal. Take my sister back. Bye.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Love that. And I guess we'll get to see Yara next week.
Probably, yeah. Or yeah, she'd have to if she's going to take part in the battle, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I guess we did see the 3 ships, or we saw those ships. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
She's taking the Iron Isles right now, right?
Yeah, she's taking the Iron Isles. So good for her.
Yeah.
So how are they going to meet up then? That she's going to have to fly. She's going to have to go all the way back around the continent to meet up with them, right?
Not necessarily. Game of Thrones has given up travel, so people teleport a lot.
I thought, but whatchamacallit? Winterfell is on the western part of the continent.
Yeah, but it's pretty inland. That's the only.
Yeah, the closest harbor is White Harbor.
It's pretty inland.
Okay.
So you gotta go a ways. Yeah, that's why. It's weird. And the geography in Game of Thrones, the show is completely different than it is in the books. Everything's so much farther apart in the books than it is in the show. Because it's oh yeah, you can get from what is it? Deepwood Mott to Winterfell in 6 hours.
Probably.
Whilst going behind the Night King's army.
Yeah.
Totally doable.
They were just swimming. They're doing the backstroke through the army. And just got to the front.
Just swimming on the dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, one of them's probably Doctor Strange, just moving his fingers, his stupid little run thing where he moves his hand in a circle and they just make little stargates. Or maybe they all have stargates.
Sling ring.
It's yeah. I mean, I might be. I've been saying this a lot to my friends that I talk about the show with and whatnot. But I love what this show does. I hate how it, or I love what it says. I hate how it does it. I hate how they say what they say. Where the general broad plot points, I think have been spot on so far. It's just especially like later on in like the battles and stuff. I feel like the show has gotten almost too obsessed with the cinematics, and I think it's almost gotten too over dramatic at this point.
Yeah, kind of. Before,
I could see that.
Yeah, I can kind of see that too. Now before we go into like big battles, let's go into episode 2. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yep.
Fantastic name. For
Duck in the Tall.
Yep. So Graham, you were saying that you had people that didn't like this episode. Like, why didn't they like this episode? Because Arya and Gendry shagged.
I still think that's uncomfortable.
That is like the most ridiculous thing.
I mean, I'm okay with them like sharing a moment and like, I don't know, being intimate. The way they did it, it's like where she's just like, I'm gonna flash you now, and just and Gendry's like, who are you? You've changed so much. And she's like waltzing on the wall, being like, yo, Hound, give me your beer. I'm going to chug this beer right in front of you. And the Hound's like, who are you?
Well, she's been through some stuff, man. Like, and she's grown. Like, of the majority of the characters, like, she has grown the most, I think. Just
I
because...
almost wish...
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, see, I almost wish that, yes, and everything that happened to her in the previous seasons, like, she has definitely seen the most, probably even more than Jon. I wish she acted more traumatized rather than like her now acting like she's 10 years older than she actually is. I wish she was more like sullen and like paranoid and twitchy and just kind of like I don't know, rather than this like this she's acting like an edgy shonen protagonist.
Well, I think, I mean, if we kind of go back to the House of Black and White, that's kind of like been beaten out of her. You know, like where it's like she's completely, you know, hiding her emotions from everything. And this instance where she gets with Gendry, she's able to let those emotions out. And I don't really want her like twitchy and, you know, like Theon. Because like, especially Theon in the book. Oh my gosh, when he's Reek in the book and he's just like, I don't want to do anything. Like, he's scared of everything. Like, I don't want that. But we do get to see that in episode 3 when she gets, like, knocked in the head. And she's just like, oh, crap. These guys are actually dead. This is a scary situation right now. And then it takes Melisandre to kind of like, hey, calm, Usa, think about it. What are you good at? It's like, oh, I'm good at stabbing people.
Stabbing.
And she's like, all right, I'm going to go stab. And then she goes and stabs. So, like, I understand where you're coming from. However, like, I'm not in that boat. I mean, you're just kind of seeing what she's been through in the show. Like, I can understand, like, where she's coming from. And, you know, obviously, yeah, she's, you know, strutting around like this because that's just another, like, coping mechanism that she has.
Okay. I can see that. And for a viewer, that's a much more entertaining and much more like, that's a much more, I guess, interesting personality for her to don rather than, again, what I said. I'm just trying to imagine if I were to go through what she went through, I would want to like hide away from people. I'd want to be a recluse. That's me in general, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like for season 7, it's like they kind of played up more on her being almost nuts than they do this. She was
an insane person in season 7.
Yeah, it's like that the experiences of season 7 being back with Sansa and being back in her home and everything that made her a bit more human. I mean, she's she's a lot more even keel now. You know, she's not like.
I mean, she was also kind of getting her and Sansa were both being manipulated by Littlefinger that entire time too.
Well, they were supposedly manipulating him. That's a whole nother thing.
That is the biggest crock of garbage. The only reason I say that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because if they're doing this, they're trying to, you know,
they're bamboozling him the whole time.
Bamboozle Littlefinger.
Yep.
Littlefinger is not in a majority of the scenes where the two of them are alone.
Yeah.
That whole bit in like Arya's chambers, like Littlefinger's nowhere there. They're having this whole like, oh, you found my masks, like I could stab you whenever I wanted. I'm the one who killed, Walder Frey and all this stuff. It's like Littlefinger's not like peeking his head through the door like, listen to this. Like he doesn't have a spy camera in there. It's like that's why like that never made any sense to me, after the fact where they're like, oh no, they were putting it to him the entire time. It's like, no, they weren't.
They were just tricking. They were tricking the viewers the whole time.
Yeah. It's like the moment wherever you could argue that they're starting to try to play Littlefinger or try to trap him, or they're on the same side, is whenever Littlefinger goes overboard a little bit. It's like, why is Arya trying to do all this stuff? Then and he's basically trying to lead Sansa to, Arya wants to be the Lady of Winterfell, whatever, which is never what she wanted to be.
That's when it kind of like, I believe that's when it clicks. But
yeah.
And then it's like, wait a second. Then I guess like there was a scene where like the three of them get together and talk this out, like Bran, Sansa, and Arya.
Mm-hmm.
Where they go and they talk it out, but it got cut. So it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Because, I mean, the only time where you see like Littlefinger like manipulating, watching anybody is when he's manipulating Arya. Or he's manipulating Sansa. Like, or Sansa. But like there's never any bits where they're having a conversation, he's like peeking around the corner like, ooh, look at them. None of that ever happens. He's always the one manipulating until he goes too far, and then it happens.
Yep. And then chaos is not a ladder anymore. It is a pit.
A ladder. It's a knife through the jugular. Oh god, that was my Littlefinger impression. I think I did a pretty good job. Sansa.
I mean, I absolutely loved Littlefinger. He was one of my favorite characters to watch because of that line you just said, where he's just an agent of chaos. He just does whatever he thinks will, like, he's greedy, he's evil. He's exactly what I feel like, and he's the embodiment of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like he's a little bit too greedy. That's the thing that separates him and Varys. Like, Varys is greedy too, but he knows when to, like, pull it back.
Yeah.
Whereas, Littlefinger is just like, I'm gonna keep going and pushing and pushing and pushing, and then it just breaks bad for him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my season 7 thoughts.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Arya.
Yep.
So Oliver, what about you? What did you think of this episode?
Oh man, it's like of all the three, this is the one that like got me like the most like emotional of everything, because especially like the fireside chat sections of it. Man, it's like the part wherever the episode gets its name, wherever Brienne gets knighted by Jaime, and you have Tyrion and Tormund and Pod and Davos all shooting the shit. It's like all that worked for me. It was great.
Group that all survived too. So
yeah, which Tyrion called after his talk with Bran.
I think in general, or across all three episodes, even episode 3, I think the fireplace scene is my favorite so far of this season.
It may be my favorite. They say like fireplace scene may be one of my favorite scenes of the series.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. Yeah.
I mean, now there are definitely a lot of like really, really good scenes too. Like whenever Arya and Tywin Lannister have a scene together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like those are always great. When Jaime and Brienne are off on their Jaime and Brienne's little arc. Like I wish someone would just take all of the bits where it's just Jaime and Brienne, and just like put them all together in like one big compilation. I just want to see that entire story, just Jaime and Brienne. All like, I don't know, probably like probably like hour and 10 minutes that they're all like they're on screen at the same time together.
Probably a couple hours.
I don't know, because how like Game of Thrones like used to, like, especially when in the earlier seasons when they were like jumping around like all the time, and you would get like maybe 3 meaningful scenes for each little arc during an episode.
Yeah.
So maybe something like, I would love to see that. I mean, if it's like 2 hours, that'd be perfect. That'd be the perfect movie for me. Just like, oh god, what would you call that? the shoot.
So, Slayer, Slayer, the film.
That's that movie you were talking about earlier, where you're like, you watch a movie about two people slowly falling in love with each other, and you have to kind of believe it. I believe it with those two.
Right? Oh god, it's so good. Like they literally go from enemies to begrudging friends, and and then something else.
Yeah.
And then knights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, a knight in the Kingslayer. There we go. Oh, you could call it a night to remember.
Oh.
So, okay, there you go. Someone write that. I need a fanfic now. No, like I would love, if that were to happen. But yeah, like that fireside scene, it's so freaking good, guys. Like it's just so good. It's it starts off weird with giants.
But see, it's got humor. It's Tormund is just.
Are we done with the whole like Tormund and Brienne thing? Like,
I thought we would be.
Is that done? Like
I thought he was gonna die.
Oh, here's the thing. Tormund should have died like 7 times already this series. Like should have died during Battle of the Bastards.
Yep.
Yeah. Should have died on
Beyond the Wall.
Climbing the wall.
I was gonna say Fist of the First Men, but yeah, like should have died Beyond the Wall. Should have died on the wall. Should have died when they attacked the Night's Watch.
Yep.
Like there's so many times that this dude should die.
Yep.
That's why he's still alive.
The only reason he didn't die Battle of Winterfell is because he was with my boy Gendry. They were like next together the entire time.
So that is true. Yeah, it's like at the very end, they're on the same pile of bodies together.
I always love like maybe we should just start killing them and stand higher and stand higher and stand higher.
Yeah,
the high ground, man, high ground.
Yeah, like they definitely had it. They were pretty high up there. That's why we didn't get to see them kill little Lyanna Mormont because she just couldn't reach that pile. Like she was too short. No, like, yeah, like, man. Let's do Arya and Gendry. Let's get it over with. Arya and Gendry. Graham, why didn't you like it?
Because I feel like she's too aggressive with it. Like again, I don't know. I'm fine with them being intimate and them like having a moment, but that she's just like just drops everything, just fuck me right now. It just it just comes off as kind of cringy how aggressive she is. Like I get her whole reasoning behind it. The whole like we're probably gonna die tomorrow, except we're main characters, so we're probably not. And
well,
then
here's the thing: Gendry could die.
Yeah, legit. He was on everybody's list of most likely to die. Of everybody.
And if it had played out like that, if they had some sort of if they had an intimate moment where whatever, and then Gendry had died the next day, something sort of tragic like that would have been kind of cool. So I don't know. I have nothing against a character aggressively pursuing their desires and their goals, but I read a quick little bit that I forget who interviewed her, actress for Arya, I forget her name.
Macy?
Yes, thank you. And she said that when she got the script, she immediately went through and read all her parts. And when she got to that, she thought it was a joke. She thought that it was a bomb placed by the directors as kind of like a ha-ha, yeah. But then the director's like, no, that's exactly what's going to happen. And she's like, really? So, I don't know.
And she was like, really? Joe Dempsey? I've seen him naked on Skins. By the way, everybody go watch Skins. It's fantastic.
Oh, perfect.
It's season 2 about ready to premiere this week, right? Or last week or something?
Oh, no. I don't know about I'm talking about old Skins. Like when Nicholas Hoult was on the show.
Okay.
Like OG Skins. Because that's got, it's also got the actress who is,
Gilly, right?
Gilly, yeah.
Okay.
And she's blonde and super cute. Because she's 18 in that series.
Just like Arya is conveniently in Game of Thrones.
Exactly. See, it all works out.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she is, but Game of Thrones, the Twitter like release some sort of statement being like, yeah, she's 18, guys. It's okay.
Well, that and it's like the actress
Yeah, the actress is
she's
22.
22,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it's
No,
and
no,
it's like
that's fine.
the people that are like, oh, she's too young. It's like watching my sister, but it's like, but she's killed like 30 people. She's chopped
Yeah.
people up and fed them to their fathers. Like
Yep.
she's
Scott
Scott
Tenorman.
Tenorman people, man. So it's like, calm down. Like she's a grown woman,
hmm
and yeah, it's like, but no, it's weird. Like everyone's like, oh, gross, 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 all about Arya. But then, like, if that's what they're playing, it's like nobody's mad at Gendry. It's like no one's like, "Oh, Gendry, you took advantage of a small child." It's like,
Well, because
no.
he did it. Because she
Well, yeah, I
thrusted
guess,
herself
but
on him. she, I don't know. Maybe that's what is adding to my kind of feelings about the scene is that like she doesn't have any innocence. She's very aggressive. There's nothing kind of like cute or endearing about it. It's just like Arya has like the personality of like a 30-year-old woman that's like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get married, so I'm gonna try to lock down this hunk right now and make sure that he's mine.
well, here's the thing. Like, in kind of going off what the previews have for episode 4, it looks like she's kissing Gendry. So it's like maybe like that was
Mhm.
the first night.
Yeah.
That was the night of we're probably not going to survive this. But now that they did survive this, and the only thing that's left is Cersei, then it's like, okay, maybe we can start to see more of this actual romance.
And I guess, and now
Yeah.
they leave the door open to explore the whole. Gendry's actually a bastard, and he's the bastard of Robert. So he now kind of has a legitimate claim to the throne as well,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting.
What if he's not a bastard, though? What if he's
I mean,
actually Cersei and Robert's
yeah,
actual son? Because
they,
remember, she did say that she did have a son. His hair was black as coal, or night, or whatever it was. But then
they,
he died. It's like,
they could
what
pull something out of their hat like they did with John. It's like, oh, he's
exactly.
technically not a bastard
He's technically
anymore.
not a bastard. He's actually Robert Baratheon's kid. And then Daniel loved that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She'd be like, well, gotta kill him.
So you know what? I'm gonna kill all of you guys.
I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
it's one of those, like, I've been rooting for those two since the books. So, to me, and they're even younger in the books. I wasn't wanting them to, like, bang day one. But it was one of those where I'm like, you know what? If these two fall in love later and, get married and have, a little
Wait.
half wolf, half deer kids, it'll be great.
Hmm.
And then, but I was also with like
Oh.
Bran and Mira because I was like, oh, they're so cute.
Same conversation I had with my friends. It's not Ned, it's Robert in season one goes, well, Ned, you have a daughter and I have a son.
Wish I
What
could
if
join our
we?
houses.
And of course, you think they're referring to Sansa and Joffrey at the time, but what if they're referring to Gendry and Arya?
Well, considering that Robert didn't know that Gendry existed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Prophecies in the show of Game of Thrones mean nothing, so that could very well be true.
Mhm.
Maybe it was like maybe Robert had like a random prophecy, and that was what it was. But it was about Arya and Gendry. I guess last thing that we can hit for this episode, like the last like big point is Jon telling Daenerys that, hey, guess what? I'm your nephew. You know.
And of course she doesn't care about any of that. She's like, wait, it's like you have a better claim to the throne than I do.
Exactly.
You must die after this battle.
That's where she went to.
Yeah. I'm glad she didn't try to like kill him during the battle or have like one of those like weird thoughts where she was like, I could burn him right now on the dragon.
That would have been such a Danny thing to do, though.
Because here's the like, guys, I'm gonna put this out there. Not a fan of Danny. Not a fan of Danny. Like, not a fan of Danny in the books. Not a fan of Danny in the TV show. She's just kind of there. Like, she's here because she knows Dothraki.
Yeah. I mean, I respect her drive, And the fact that, like, out of all the characters in the show, she's one of the very few that had a goal day one and still has that exact same goal 8 seasons later.
Yeah.
So, like, there's something to say about that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's very much made by the people around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Character-wise, at least.
Like, everybody is, like, to me, everybody that she surrounds herself with is 1,000 times more interesting than she is.
Yeah.
Like, Grey Worm and Missandei,
Tyrion.
Varys, Dario Naharis.
So
I wish
one?
they would have gotten that blue. I wish they would have given him his little blue mustache. It would have been so freaking awesome. But no, we don't get that. He's just left forever. Yep. He's just stuck in the across the narrow sea, just like, hey, I'm still here.
It's a run marine for me. It's like about 6 months later after that, it's like, you know what, screw this. I'm going back to being a mercenary.
Exactly, like, it pays better. And there's not a bunch of, like, harpy sons of the harpy trying to kill me, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I like when he tells her and everything, and then she's just like, she doesn't think about anything else. It's like, oh, you have a better claim.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so you gonna, like, try and abdicate? You gonna ask Jon? And who knows, maybe we'll get that episode 4, because they didn't really get a lot of time to talk in episode 2. Maybe they'll actually talk it out and say, you know what? And Jon will be like, I don't want to be king. You can have
exactly.
that. You don't got to tell anybody I'm Aegon Targaryen.
Yep.
Or she'll be like, you know what? Jon, like, all these Northmen like Jon a lot more than they like me, and they're probably not going to fight for me. Plus, his little sister just killed, or I guess technically his cousin, just killed the Night King, the big bad of the series. So maybe I should do that, and then I can still technically rule.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna play that. Like, it's a whole.
And then they're gonna get married, and it's gonna be so great, and
then it's gonna be crazy because she's gonna have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow
they foreshadowed that, like, too much in season 7 for there not to be a kid.
It's like, by the way, Jon, these are my children, the dragons. I can't have children. Jon, you know this. Jon, look at me, right in the eyes, please. I can't have children. Are you okay with that? And he's like, that's weird. That's basically it. Like, it's just like, cool.
So who told you that?
He's like, so what, I'm gonna rap? Is that? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what his, like, he doesn't really say anything for that. He's just like, interesting. Cool.
Didn't
Yeah, so maybe a witch is not the best source of information.
Yeah, wait, that's the same witch that also lied to her.
Exactly. It's like, well, I mean, technically, she didn't. She did say that, he'll come back, which he did.
Yeah.
As a vegetable.
It's like, it'll save him. He'll be a zombie, but he'll save. Like, he'll be fine.
You're sterile to everyone that's not your nephew.
It's the dragon in her.
Yep.
Get it, Jon? A wolf dragon. Is there such a thing as, like, a wolf dragon?
I can dig a hairy dragon.
Other than, like, a sick, like, rock band. Wolf dragon.
Wolf dragon.
Like, that's like a dope metal band. Like,
yeah.
Oh, actually, no. Dragon wolf.
Dragon wolf?
It's a drolf.
A drolf.
Drolf?
Or a raggin.
I like raggin.
Raggin.
Like, this is a raggin. Anyway, episode 3. The long night. No, I mean, yeah, we kind of glossed over, like, Jaime knighting Brienne, but that's a beautiful scene.
Honestly, it's one of the best.
Yep. And that's what made me scared for both those characters for this episode, which it ended up being a moot point, at the end.
Like, everybody thought that she was going to die, and I'm just like, they wouldn't. See, Game of Thrones is a lot of things, but they wouldn't do that. Like, they wouldn't, like, knight Brienne and then just kill her next episode. Mm-hmm. If anybody, they were going to kill Jaime.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were going to kill Brienne. Because it's like, how many strong female characters do you have in this show? You got 2.
Arya, Brienne, Daenerys?
I mean, I would just say Arya and Brienne. Like, that can actually fight and do things.
Oh, yeah.
You got Arya and you got Brienne. And Arya's not going to be of any help during the Siege of King's Landing.
Not unless you do Black Ops stuff, but I
think
they kind of took that. They kind of took that out this episode. It's like if you have her take out the big bad of one, you can't really have her take out the big bad of the other. Kind of.
I hope that's the case.
Unless you have like Jon and Tyrion and like Arya and like Grey Worm and maybe I don't know Jaime like infiltrate through the sewers.
Yeah.
Maybe like the same way that Tyrion got in, and so they could have their little chat in season 7. Unless they do something like that, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. So then you can have Dany, flying around on her dragon. So Cersei's like, there he is on a dragon, or there's one of them on the dragon, and then I don't know. Maybe they dress Sam up as. By the way, we'll talk about Sam later. Maybe they dress Sam up as Jon Snow.
Oh my God! just strap him down, just strap him on the top of Rhaegal and fly him around. Man, Jon got fat in the last 6 months. I haven't seen him.
Exactly. A little fat to be a Jon Snow.
It's like I understand they put a lot of weight on in the winter but damn.
Yeah.
Or they just strap Jorah's body. He's just like flopping around. Too soon. All right, season 3. Episode 3. Yeah, season 3. Welcome everybody. Episode 3, The Long Night. So, did anybody have any? Let's just address the elephant in the room that is not in King's Landing.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yep.
Yeah, poor elephants. They never made it.
Let me check that off my list.
So they're part of the Night King's army as mammoths, which we also didn't see.
Yeah, we didn't see any mammoths.
Or polar bears.
That was one thing that I was really sad that we didn't get any polar bears.
Or ice spiders as big as hounds.
Yep.
Though that's only in the books.
It was like Nan still said that to Bran though, but that's story.
Yeah, it's still story. I mean, we never see a big spider. Like, I think that would be too Lord of the Rings for him.
Yeah.
Like, Shelob.
But I want a zombie polar bear. That's what they were saying all throughout the commentary of season 7.
Yeah, and we got it. We got that zombie polar bear. Also, we have a long lost cast member returns. We get the return of Ghost.
Perfect timing.
Return of Ghost. Oh yes. We hadn't seen him in like 3 years.
Well, I guess technically we saw him
last episode.
3 seconds in episode 2, and it was like nobody interacted with him. He looked very, very small.
Yeah, he was a cardboard cutout, which they couldn't even do in the first episode.
Yeah, and they're just like, "All right, here's Ghost," and you're like, "No, it's not. That's just a random white dog. That's just a ghost." But yeah, so
it's mini Ghost.
We get Ghost. It was dark. I will say, watching it on, like, the first time I watched it at one of my friend's house, and we were sitting back, and it was probably maybe like 20 feet, maybe 15 feet from the couch to the TV that was on the wall.
Yep. You have any ambient light on?
No, we had all the light off.
Okay. All right.
But still, it was really, really hard to see because we were so far back, and so we had to turn the brightness up. Like, we had to. There was no way. We had to turn it on like movie mode with the,
with the backlight all the way up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then when I watched it the other 2 times, I watched it on my TV at home, which is a 55-inch, and I'm watching it. I'm like, not bad. I like this. It was a lot better.
Yeah, so I think some of it was like if you're watching it on like HBO Now or HBO Go or something like that. It's like everybody, like 17 million people or so that are tuned into that. I'm sure that like messed up the compression rate of all that stuff and everything. So it's like that just everybody heavy traffic may have messed with that.
It looked very grainy for us.
Whenever it's like solid black, you see like the grays and like the warps and everything that pop in. That's kind of not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But so I mean, it's gonna look beautiful on Blu-ray because we're not gonna have any of that problem. But so like watching it the second time, like I was able to notice things in the dark too. Like I didn't know when the Dothraki are charging. I didn't know that the Night King's army was charging at the exact same time. I picked that up my second watch because I was able to see it because like right when they attack, there's just this little bit of light that comes off, and then you see these zombies like running forwards, and it was like, oh, didn't notice that before.
Yeah, then the main POV Dothraki that they hit the wall of dead with, like that you see like right before he goes out that there's the giant or whatever that's like right there. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, so like there's little stuff that you do need to kind of see second watch, that helps. But yeah, I mean, yeah, compression rate. Plus, I don't think the bit rate was very high when they filmed this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think when they were giving it out on launch, like they were like streaming it out at a higher bit rate. It seemed like it was shot really low. That's why we were getting a lot of, darkness and fun things like that.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say is like in addition to everything, it's like the first like 15 minutes or so, wherever you're intentionally not meant to see like the dead necessarily. It's like it's supposed to raise attention up. But then whenever they get to things like the dragon battle and stuff in the clouds or whatever, even that was dark. I remember the first time seeing it, but the second time seeing it, you could definitely see. Oh, it's like there's a crap ton of close calls on Jon and things that you may not have seen the first time or not, or if you didn't know what to look for, you wouldn't.
There's also a lot more Dothraki that make it out than I originally thought.
Yeah, there was a decent amount. Yeah,
like watching it the first time, the only ones I saw were the ones that like ran by, like on the side of the screen. When you see like who is it? I think it's Davos, like kind of like looking over. You see a couple of them run by. Those were the only ones that I saw first watch. Then I watch it again. I'm like, oh, there's Dothraki and horses that make it out.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that the first time. I was like, oh, okay, well that makes more sense. At least not all the Dothraki are dead.
And your boy Jorah makes it out.
Of course, he's got a little bit of plot armor. It gets nicked away.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not gonna kill. See, that was one of those like, I know they're not gonna kill Jorah off screen. I mean, they're gonna Pelennor Fields this for sure. All we needed was Billy Boyd in the background, singing a song.
Oh, miss behind, up around the bend. All right.
Exactly. That's all we needed, and it would have been perfect. Someone's made that, right? Someone's like put his song to that and kind of like slowed it down a little bit, because that would be perfect.
That would be perfect.
I wish I was any good at video editing, because that would be great. I have all the ideas. I'm an idea guy. I'm not a
and a naming guy.
Exactly. Yeah, like I can. That's all I can do.
So you're a Tyrion guy. You have all the ideas, but not the execution.
Exactly. Like I'm definitely too. No, I'm more like Davos. Like I'll let other people do it because like I can't fight. Like I got no thumbs.
Yep.
Or finger joints.
Yep.
So like I'll tell people, and spoil things.
Yeah.
But that's all I can do. That's all I can do. Anyway.
And then after that, we get all our main characters very nicely placed in front of all their men, standing very gallantly and very courageously on the front lines, leading the charge.
Yeah.
And then the White Walkers hit, and they teleport way back behind all their men.
Well, it's not really. See, here's the thing. Like, it's not really a teleport. Like, it's one of those like. It is the mists of battle. Like everyone's like, "Oh, Grey Worm teleported so far back." Sorry, that's my internet voice. Grey Worm teleports all the way back. It's like, well, I mean, if you watch that initial push, like those Unsullied at the very front, they get pushed like 5 people deep. So it's like
they get washed.
Yeah, they get washed like a tidal wave.
Exactly. So it's like the fact that Grey Worm can be back. Plus, it's like he's also the leader of the Unsullied. So he's probably not standing in one position.
Yeah.
The entire time. Because like there's that scene where he runs around, like they have this gap. He runs through it, and then the gap collapses.
Yeah, it's like they have a controlled retreat. I think what's meant to be conveyed is by the time he's the retreat's gone to that point, I think he's like the midpoint. I think because there's like half the I think by that point there were initially 2 big things of there were the Unsullied there.
There were like 3, and then like there's a part where you see one of them go. There's 2 bits when they're like doing that slow retreat backwards, and then when Grey Worm goes through, there's only like the one column left, and you're like, oh snap, those Unsullied got owned. So and then he's like, I gotta pull the thing. And
we gotta pull this thing and light the trench.
Exactly.
Light it now.
Goodbye, my poor Unsullied friends. So shout out to those Unsullied. Like they sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, it's like I know they're like all trained to be like no fear and everything like that, but at the same time, it's like you ain't dealing with death coming straight at you. You know?
Yeah, they're boy. But man, yeah, Unsullied, like they were definitely like unsung heroes of this thing. Like they slowed everybody down just enough until it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Yep. And then I guess in all this, like Dany went against the plan. She had her own kind of Jon Snow moment at Battle of the Bastards with the
she's
Dothraki.
like, oh, the Dothraki.
Charge!
It's like they were on horses. Like honestly, what did you expect them to do? The only thing that I can do is like they're also good bowmen, so you could have set them up on the walls, but that's basically it. Yeah,
but it's like it's one of those things wherever I thought I heard somewhere that like the Dothraki charging actually wasn't like a planned thing. It was like once they got their blades like set on fire that they just had like they just like charged anyway. I think, and then Jorah just went with them.
Well, then they deserve it then. Like, if that was like a woo, bro, let's go. It's like y'all deserve that.
Once they raise or close the gates, and then all the zombies start like World War Z-ing their way up the wall and stuff. Imagine if the Dothraki were behind Winterfell and just kind of rode around and could pincer them at that moment. It's like then they actually did something, or at least they're buying time at that point, opposed to just all of those lights getting snuffed out.
They also could have like had all of the Dothraki like around Bran instead of like 10 Ironborn,
10 pirates,
and poor Alice Karstark, who I'm not 100% sure if she lived or died. She was the only one where I'm just like, I don't know, is Alice Karstark still alive? Because she's there for a little bit. She goes there initially. Yeah, and there's a scene like right when Theon's like, they led the trenches. Ooh, what do we do? And Bran's like, bye.
I'm gonna go now, guys.
Yeah, like there's a part where she like walks and it looks like she's about to say something, but then it like cuts, and so I'm like, where was he like, hey, go somewhere else, or because like you don't see her at all, like you don't see her die, you don't see her like in any of the fight with those Ironborn when they're shooting the arrows, like she's nowhere to be found. So it's like, did she die? Is she still alive? Did we also lose House Karstark? Because I mean, like then we've lost like 3 big northern houses. We've lost the Karstarks. We've lost the Karstarks, the Umbers, and the Mormonts.
The Mormonts.
Yeah. So it's like, did we lose 3 big houses in this battle, or did we just lose 2 big houses in this battle? Because I include the Umbers because they, got killed by the army. So,
but we still got the Glovers, right?
Oh yeah, they were at home. Yep. And if those a-holes, or if they're at this party tomorrow or in the next episode when they're all like cheering in the Great Hall, if those Glovers are there, no.
It's execution time. Yeah,
that's one of those like, y'all banished. Like I'm gonna give it to your kids. Y'all banished.
Yep. I don't know. I think you just go ahead and destroy the whole house, man. I'm sorry. You go full listeners there.
Give it to the wildlings. It's like, hey, guess what?
You got Deepwood Mont, guys. Yeah.
Have fun. It's all yours. Something, and I mean, hopefully we'll see the reeds. That would be nice if we get to see the reeds. Because I would like to think that Bran, since he's been in Winterfell, has gained a little bit of his humanity back. So I would like to see Mira and Bran again, and he's just like, Mira, you actually did a lot for me. I really appreciate it.
I'll give you a hug.
Yeah, give me a hug. And I'll actually hug you back, unlike any of my other Stark siblings.
Yeah.
Just something. Give me something, because, I mean, that hurt. Like, as a book reader, that hurt me inside.
You died in that cave. Yes, I did. Now, bye.
Exactly. It's like, you died in that cave, and he's just like, bye. Yeah, it's basically it, and you're like, oh, okay. But no, like, so I guess, like, so we have the Dothraki charge, which, by the way, that scene with Melisandre where she lights everything and then it
That
shows
was
that
BA.
wide. That's such a good scene.
Yep.
It's so
Yep.
cool.
And the lights, and then when all the flames are extinguished and everything, and you just see from a distance the lights just slowly going away. It's terrifying, and I love it.
It's such a beautiful, like, it's like to say a beautiful scene, like, it's a beautiful scene. Like, it's so damn cool. Oh yeah.
So
I was gonna say, it pretty much lets you know as an audience member, it's like either this the whole thing is gonna end tonight. It's either gonna win with the everybody here all dead and part of the army, or you're gonna kill the Night King, which they did. I think there's no escape plan for any of this. There's no way.
Who knows what the heck Ghost did?
Ghost better be alive. Damn it.
Maybe. Oh, you ready for this? You ready for this theory? Bran warged into Ghost. So that he could make Ghost away from the battle so that Ghost wouldn't get hurt.
I like that ending. Yep.
Because Ghost is going to have to save Jon Snow at some point. From something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what the plan was for that. But it just was like, it's weird that you would show Ghost and then go into a battle where everybody dies, basically.
Yeah.
And then never show Ghost return.
Yep.
That's a weird one.
Yep. But he's in the preview for next episode, though, so he's still alive.
He is there. Ghost is around. Don't know how, but he's there. So good on Ghost.
Well, I don't know how. What's the percentage at? We still have 80% of our main characters, or 85% of our main characters.
I would say about 80%.
I think 80. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all in all, we lost Jorah and Theon, who are two pretty big characters in their own, but like neither of which are buyers for the Iron Throne, neither of which are, I mean, leaders of their houses anymore. Like, for the characters that we did lose, I feel like we lost two pretty small fries.
Yeah, well, it's like that, but to their credit though, they're day one guys though. They're from the pilot.
Yes.
So overall, they're pretty big. Yeah.
Yep. And both had very emotional deaths.
Yeah. It's like Jorah especially, man. Jorah and Danny grieving over him, and Jorah coming in to kind of comfort her and everything. That was really effective.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, like three characters have been around since season 1. Because you have got because Grin's in there too. He's been around since season 1.
Yep.
So it's one of all these people have been around for a while. And then Davos has been around since season 2.
Season 2.
It's like he's been around a while too, and even Melisandre's been around quite a bit too.
Yep.
So there's a lot of these characters that have been around for a while.
Yep.
And we lose them this and then little Lyanna Mormont.
Yeah.
Yep. The fan favorite right there. But she went out like a boss. Though.
She did go out like a boss. I'm glad they let her go out like a boss.
Yep.
It was yeah.
Speaking to Theon's death though, if I can change one thing about his death, I wouldn't have him do the whole like the he looks back at Bran, does a little nod, and just the death charge. Like, if instead he just stands there in front of Bran, holding up his pike, just being like, get back, don't come any closer. The Night King just slowly just saunters on forward, and then like whatever, Theon tries to stab him, and he grabs the thing, breaks it in half, stabs him, does the same exact thing, but just remove the whole meme charge.
Leroy Jenkins charge.
My thing with that is, like, for Theon's character, that's the biggest thing that he's ever done. Mainly because, like, if you look at Theon and the things that he's gone through, he's turned around and ran from almost everything. Like, saving his sister, runs away. Fighting Ramsay, runs away. Trying to save Sansa that first, runs away. It's like, he is constantly running away from things, whereas in this time, the the person that he's hurt the most, and in Bran,
he runs away from,
and he runs towards the danger.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, like, it was really fitting for his character, and I really enjoyed that, because I'm like, you know what? This is how much that he's grown. Because I mean, Theon, he's come from like this high cocky mo banging chicks in the first episode to, you know, being humbled by Ramsay, being mutilated, getting his redemption arc, then losing his redemption arc a little bit, and then coming back, saving Yara, pledging himself for Winterfell, and then finally dying for Bran. Okay. But again, it's like dying for Bran.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like I think it was really good on his part. I thought I enjoyed it. Like his charge, I was like, it was really, really slow. Mm-hmm. I wish they would have gone a little bit faster with it.
It was like, I guess that whole maybe like last like 8 minutes or so was actually like high frame rate, like slow stuff. Because I guess Ramin Djawadi had like his own like score that's like that section or whatever. So yeah, it's like everything from the crypts to Jon stuff to Theon's charge to the Night King walking to Bran, and then the final
I mean, like, if we would have had like, if that's when the score would have clicked in, like right after he kills Theon, because otherwise it's a really long slow-mo scene.
Yeah.
Like if it would have kicked off right when he stabs Theon and Theon falls to the ground, and then that's when the score kind of kicks in. It's like, oh, okay, that kind of, you know, just like a speed up. Because, I mean, otherwise, like, you should have seen more character. Like, if that's what they were going for, they could have killed more characters in slow-mo that way.
Yeah.
Like, if you were gonna kill, if you were gonna kill Pod or something, that's when you would do it. If you were gonna kill Sam, who is just the worst
helplessly.
Oh man, it's like freaking Ed died for Sam. It's like, get up, Sam.
To no avail.
I mean, Sam is one of those people where after the fighting, Sam is going to be very important to rebuilding and like ushering in a better world. But God, he had no business being outside the crypt.
You know what? If he would have been in the crypts, he probably could have saved some of those Winterfell girls who got slaughtered. It's like, because bro still knows how to wield a sword. He could have like hacked some people, and there were like 5 people in the tombs. Like, it wasn't a lot.
It's funny.
There wasn't too many.
Bringing up the crypts and everything, we get Theon and Sansa get a fun little scene like before they start attacking. Or was it this episode or last episode where they have the whole like, I don't know why I divorced you, or why aren't we still married?
Oh yeah, that was this episode.
Okay.
It's like, you were one of the better ones, and it's like, what a
thanks.
Heaven forbid, heaven forbid, are better than Ramsay.
But and then when the I guess the bodies in the crypt start reanimating everything, and Sansa and Theon have their little moment there, and then they both pull out their knives, and I wholeheartedly thought that they were both gonna like kill themselves in that moment when they pull out their knives and kind of look at each other, and then they run off.
Well, I thought Tyrion was gonna go out and try and, you know, stab some whites, but he literally goes and he runs around the thing. He's like, I'm gonna go hide. I'm like, what was the point of that? You literally could have stayed there.
Yep.
You were literally safe. They're dumb. They can't turn around that corner. They're gonna find you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just like, no, I'm gonna hide over here in this random alcove with Vars and like all of these other people.
All the main characters that were in the crypt.
Exactly. It's like, oh, hey, what's up?
Yep.
I also like how Var, like at the end, he has the little girl by the hand. Like, I'm convinced he was ready to like throw her in front of him. Get her. You know, it's like, I am a spider.
Yeah.
Oh god.
He was healed.
I will say one thing. The one thing that I do have problems with in this episode is Gwendolyn Christie. Only because every time that she yells, it makes me think that she is dying.
That is true. It's like
she's like, and you're just like, what?
Hold the
Brienne, are you okay? And then like Jaime like kills some people. And she's like, oh, and you're like, what the heck? It's like, calm down, like it's okay. And then she's fighting on the wall, and she's like, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, Brienne, are you okay? Like, she's like giving me like heart palpitations because I'm like, are you okay? Are you gonna be okay? Are you okay? And like, she's fine. Yeah, because at the end it's like her, Jamie, and Pod just like chilling there, and they're like, "Hey," and there's like 7 other people in Winterfell that are alive.
Yeah, so all the armies are gone, but then our main character is the only one that's stayed alive.
I don't remember seeing any Unsullied, but I mean they could have been somewhere else.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure, because there's a good chunk of them that make it through the gate.
there's even a few of the
Dothraki that make it through.
Yeah, but of course I guess their main leader or whatever, he's a white by the end of it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing.
Yeah, and I wonder if there's anybody in House Mormont still alive.
They lost their leader, and they lost Jorah.
Exactly. It's like they lost leader and leader's cousin, but I wonder if there's like one of them still around. Maybe somewhere he's just like still holding his little shield, and he's like, ah!
Little bear shield.
Everything I know is gone.
Yep.
Oh man. So what were your overall thoughts before we get into the drop? Oh, and by the way, John, I don't know what he's doing this entire thing. He does nothing. He just kind of like when he's sitting on his dragon and literally just like watching. It's like, bro, your people are dying. Like, do something.
Yeah.
And he's just like sitting on Rhaegal and just like, like, oh, the trench got lit. That's interesting. No, that's it. And you're just like, what the heck, bro?
So he's keeping an eye on both Bran and the Night King.
But he can't even see the Night King. That's the thing. Like when he finally sees him, he's like, ah, there he is. Yip yip.
Yeah.
He goes up.
Yeah.
Do you like that? I imagine. I imagine John saying yip yip whenever he needs to go up. Like Rhaegal, yip yip, and he's like.
I imagine he would treat him like a horse, though. I mean, it's like how else that's the only thing he knows how to ride.
He's like petting him. He's like, shh, good girl, shh. And I was like, I'm a boy. You know what's sad though? We're not gonna have any other dragons. These are the last 2 dragons. They're both boys. So unless we have some weird like Jurassic Park thing go on,
life finds a way.
It was like the Valyrian language is supposed to be like genderless or whatever. So like because that's supposed to be how the dragons are, right?
Maybe.
Life finds a way. Jurassic Park.
It's like some East Indian dragons.
Yep.
In a same-sex environment, can John's like over here like smelling an egg. No, it wouldn't be John. Who's the who would be the Grant in Davos?
Davos,
Would
probably.
be like, it's like some East African dragons. I need to work on my Game of Thrones impressions. They're not good.
It's kind of funny that we're kind of at a loss for things that John did, because I mean, yeah, in general, it's like he kind of hung back.
He yelled at a dragon once.
Because when like shit hit the fan, when he tried to kill the Night King,
the Night King was actively trying to avoid him too.
Yeah, it's like he runs towards the Night King and then he like stops and it's like, bro,
and then
keep going.
Yep.
It's like, why'd you stop?
And then,
did
John
you think he was gonna pull a gun? Like what was the
an ice gun?
Yep.
Mr. Freeze,
like,
Mr. Freeze.
He's like, this is my ice gat, and you're like, what?
Yep. Well, and then he raises his hands, and then he summons like 20 undead that all surround Jon Snow. They're all within like arm's length of him, and then we slash cut, and then we cut back, and Jon's like defeated all of them. He's like cutting down one of them and slowly walking forward. It's like,
well, he's he's kind of on the ropes, and then Dany comes in and like blows on him, and then she's like, I'm just gonna sit here. And it's like,
that was
done. In the middle of like this army of dead people, you're literally behind enemy lines, and you're just gonna sit there, and then like ants, they all.
Yep.
I will say, like, especially when you watch, like how you see all of the when it does that zoom out towards the end of the episode, like when they're all getting iced, you see like there's like this endless stream of whites and zombies, coming through the gates of Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did Jorah escape all that? Did he go around and he's like?
Yep.
I was like, by that point in the battle, the Night King like blew a hole in the side of one of the walls.
Yeah, but they're still pouring in through all those angles. Like watch it again. Like it zooms out and like they're pouring in through the hole. They're pouring in through the front gate. They're still climbing up the walls. That's why like when Jon's running through, you see all of these like whites just like falling the entire time. It's very World War Z, where like all of these like zombies are just like falling the entire time. So it's like they're still climbing and everything. So it's one of those like the Jorah thing is like, how did Jorah get there?
That was like you see that he starts to try to make his way toward Dany like right before the Night King like raises everybody, and like they're outside of the gates of Winterfell. They're outside the whole building or whatever. So it's like you see that like all the dead bodies are there, but none of them are animated or whatever. So that might be.
I can see that. I can see that. But. Yeah, that was just weird. And like, okay, so the whole bit with Jon yelling at the dragon, and now there are people that are convinced that he was yelling "Go, go, go" for Arya, so that she could go kill the Night King. One, that's dumb. Two, what do you gain from that?
Nothing.
Like seriously, like what's your gain? Like. Is it just so that you can say, yeah, Jon told her to do that, so because he's a real king or leader or whatever? It's like, but he still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like he still didn't kill the Night King. He still did nothing. So I don't understand like the whole like we have to show it so that Jon was actually the one telling her what to do. It's like, but to what end? Like what's the end of that?
It's like the way I can see it playing out and it not being anything necessarily having to do with like making Jon a hero or anything. It's just that you actually have to. It gives a transition of how Arya got from the room with Melisandre and the Hound to the Godswood, because basically whenever.
Or it could be the fact that she grew up in Winterfell and knows how to like go around the place.
Yeah, but the only entrance to the Godswood is that section where the dragon is. So it's one of those things where it's like Jon would have had to have the dragon move, whatever, and then
the only entrance that you know of.
Well, that's what's shown in the maps and what's shown in the initial scene wherever it's Sam, and then whenever they hand it off to Tyrion and everything. That's the only entrance around the walled Godswood.
Unless she pulled a Bran and like climbed over some rooftops, which is definitely something that a ninja could do.
Also, it's like, what is Bran doing this whole time? What is Bran just conked out, like flying ravens around? So, is there a way for him to communicate with Arya? I've had this conversation with other people as well.
I don't think he can warg into other people. Like he can warg into people that are of simple minds, like Hodor, and he can warg into animals. So unless Arya is like an animal. Unless it's like Avengers Endgame, because Oliver, you saw there's like a rat or something in Avengers Endgame, right?
Yep, that saves the entire universe. A rat saves the entire universe.
What? Is that real? Like, how does that happen? Spoilers for Avengers Endgame.
Okay, basically, it's like Scott Lang's like trapped in the.
Who's Scott Lang?
He's Ant-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ant-Man's stuck in a quantum realm or whatever.
Ass.
No, come on. It's like he's trapped in the quantum realm or whatever. That I guess was at the end of his movie, whatever. But his partner, played by Evangeline Lilly, got like taken in the snap, so he's been in the quantum realm for 5 years. But then a rat happens to walk across like that controller or whatever, and that brings him back out. And that's basically they use the quantum realm to time travel and do all that other stuff. So a rat is the reason that everybody's able to be brought back.
What if Bran warged into a rat? Yep. And was showing Arya how to get across, like, because Bran used to climb a lot, so maybe he turned into a rat and was like, "Hey, follow me," and he's like, "Rat, rat, 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 rat."
See, to a lesser extent, I hope that's actually the explanation. Is that Bran somehow communicates to Arya how to navigate around the undead to get in the right position, and then the timing to stab the Night King. I hope that, because that makes a lot of, or at least that sounds interesting to me. Yeah. Because she's very skilled, and he has Hawkeye vision over everything. So,
Either that or she's just a freaking ninja BA, and she's like, because like she knows where they're going.
Yeah,
It's like she knows that like the Night King's going towards Bran because he was like, "Hey, by the way, the Night King's coming towards me." It's like he literally said that in the strategy meeting. So I would love for her to just be like, I know where he's going. I'm a slippery little assassin girl. I'm gonna set a trap. Because, I mean, at that point, she would have had a lot longer to set this trap. Because she could have been hiding the entire time. And just waiting for her moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm giving it to her that, she knows what she was doing. She's been trained for this. She's trained for this since season 4?
I think 5 is whenever she actually makes it to Black and White. The House of Black and White.
What's she doing in season? Oh yeah, I guess season.
The Hound.
She's still with the Hound. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, so she's been there since she's been training for the last 3 years to do this. Yeah. So it's like, I could. I think she can do this by herself.
Yeah.
Unless there was a rat who was like squeak squeak,
or a raven with 3 eyes, or a raven
who's like craw craw.
Follow me.
Or if it was Ghost. He was like, Arya, come with me. Something.
Because I don't know. I like the whole
It could have been a Winterfell raccoon. We don't know. It could have been something scurrying along.
Tanuki.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like for where the criticism and stuff comes for this episode, like a lot of folks, even especially if you don't like the ending or whatever, you're gonna say, how did Arya get there? It's like there's a couple different interesting ways that she could have got there or whatever. It's like the whole the folks like trying to champion Jon yelling at the
we've listed those ways out.
Yep.
I was like, there's that, but then also there's another one is she maybe got a white or whatever and like used the faceless man powers to take the mask or whatever because by that point the whites and stuff they had there's a surrounding of Bran by whites, and then at the front of the entrance you have the White Walkers themselves and the Night King. And pretty much the one thing that you can see from where Arya could be is wherever that one gust of wind. That's by the White Walker's face or whatever. That's right before she jumps and tries to stab him or whatever. So it looks like that there's a possibility that she came from behind everybody, but then the dragon is what's actually guarding the entrance.
And then the actual action of it, I like the idea of the Night King demolished Winterfell, completely destroyed the army. In all fairness, in quotes, he won the day. He defeated Jon and Dany, their armies, everything. And he's about to kill Bran, who I guess symbolizes like his mortal enemy. This is the person that if he kills, he accomplishes his whatever goal. And then it's an underhanded backstab, a cheap shot that effectively kills him. Yeah. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, Oliver, so going what you said before, she would have had plenty of time to get into the Godswood before the dragon landed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, she literally could have like, shoop, 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 shoop. She could have been waiting there the whole... So, I mean, the whole go. I mean, I'm still focused on this go.
Oh, you're still focused on that?
Like, it's been bugging me all day since I heard about this stupid thing.
It's going back to what I said earlier. It's like, how things happen or how the show describes it doesn't matter so much to me. It's a lot of things done in this episode are for cinematic purposes. It's so that it can tell a more visually appealing story. It's the main keynotes. It's the overall the things that you can tell you can summarize to someone that hasn't seen it. That's what really matters to me. Yeah. And I feel like they made those overall decisions. They made the overall right decisions.
Yeah. I was like another thing is, I guess you get and going with what you're saying, Josh, you could have her be like in one of the trees that's in the Godswood. It's like waiting for her moment to get by everybody. I guess, like as you were saying, that's the other way that could play out. Exactly, she makes her way.
I mean, there's a ton of things in the Godswood. Like there's trees all over the gaff.
Yeah, it's like they're ways away from everything, but yeah, they're still there. It's just like she could be in a tree, and from her scene in the library or whatever, they seem to go by sound as much as anything. So it's like if she's able to cover her bleeding or whatever, then she can just be perched in there for however long, whatever, until the Night King arises.
Blend with shadows.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I give her the fact that she's a freaking ninja girl. So that's where I'm kind of at with that.
Yeah.
Out of anyone in the show, she's the only one that could have done something like that.
Exactly.
No one else is.
Could you imagine John doing that?
Or Lady Brienne?
Yeah.
No one.
Could you imagine?
Nah.
Could you imagine Sansa doing that?
It's Jamie doing that though. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Jamie doing that with like his one hand, like he wouldn't have been able to do the drop. It was just like clink clink, and he's like, oh. Like, totally thought that would work.
Haven't found out.
Oh man, yeah, that was Sam. Good lord,
man, it's like Sam should have done the front lines, man. So it's Ed coming back to save him or whatever. It's like that's your death warrant, man. It's like, and of course he got stabbed at the
save
back.
Sam, and then like when he doesn't move for like 10 seconds, it's like, oh,
it's like get up, Sam. It's like,
and then Sam's up and he's like, ha. And you're like, oh no, don't stop, keep moving, man, keep moving. And then you're like, you lose him, and then Sam runs away, and you're like, damn it, Sam.
Yeah. Sam doesn't even avenge his death or anything. He just like, it's like the white like stands there for a couple seconds, like looks at him, makes a mean mugging face or whatever, then he just runs off. I'm like, Sam.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like,
So then of course at the end he's like laying on a pile of bodies or whatever, then he's just kind of crying and stabbing things like stab.
Yeah, it's like, why are you alive? It's like, here's the thing, Sam outlived his purpose. Like, his purpose was to tell Jon that he's Aegon Targaryen. That was that was Sam's purpose. He did his purpose. He could have died. He had a nice like scene on the Titanic where there's those two, like, the ship's been hit, and then there's two old people, and they're, like, on top of the covers, and they're looking at each other. That's what he and Gilly had at the end of episode 2. He could have died. He could have gone down with the ship. And it would have been fine. But then they were like, no, we can't kill Sam yet. Sam's going to be a maester or some garbage.
He's our George R. R. Martin avatar.
Yep.
God, what a...
Yeah. No, again, I feel like in general, there wasn't enough bloodshed, or not enough main characters died.
Yeah. And that's sad that we think that. Like, there should have been more people that die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mostly we thought that way with Beyond the Wall, I remember.
Yeah, oh my god, that was...
They go on a suicide mission, and they lose one.
Yep.
Good old Thoros.
Good old Thoros of Myr. And you're like, oh, bye, bro. And then he like dies off screen.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yep.
Really?
He dies off screen, and they set him on fire or whatever, and that gives him another day of whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
another day of warmth.
He literally dies in the night, not able to say anything to anybody, no last praise be R'hllor or anything like that. He's just gone.
Yep.
It said, "Mama, I'm coming home."
Something.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
You know what would have been nice if the Hound, as Beric is dying, he would have been like, "May the Lord of Light do something with you, you bastard," or something. Just done something. But then he's just like scared. By the way, the Hound totally should have died.
Yep.
Like,
you gotta get your Clegane bowl.
Yep.
Clegane bowl is the stupid. What's the point of them fighting?
It's a meme. It's just a
but
meme.
what's the point of them fighing?
There's literally no point.
If they're gonna do it, like, that's the biggest fan service thing that I hope they don't do.
They're gonna do it. That they're gonna do it.
It's like,
but what's the point? It's not the Mountain anymore. It's a zombie.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the only way the Hound's gonna be able to kill him. He couldn't kill his actual brother.
I feel like it's funny we started off this whole conversation talking about Endgame because Endgame was a movie made for the fans, it was made to have fan service. It was made to appease the people that have seen all 20 whatever movies. I feel like this season of Game of Thrones is made for the fans. It's made to tie up all loose ends, fulfill
Episode 2
everyone.
definitely was.
Yes. Oh yeah. In a way that we like it.
yeah. It's like we like it, but then like so far this whole season's like if it's supposed to be like a season of fan service or whatever, it's like they ain't doing a good job. They lost like 50% of the people now, if you believe the Twitter.
It's one of those where they're like this was like the lowest rated, like the third lowest rated episode of Game of Thrones, and I'm like, you guys have been bitching about wanting a battle for like 9 years.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You get this battle and you bitch about it. I'm like,
insert random character didn't kill the Night King. I hate this.
Exactly. It's like, what did you want? Did you want Jon to have like a toe-to-toe showdown with the Night King?
Full Western style. They play like the
yeah. Seriously, that's what y'all wanted because that's dumb.
and of course the Night King behaved like any smart person or whatever is like Ramsay did. It's like, no, you're gonna go against my army. I'm not gonna go one-on-one with you.
Fight you, bye. And then he just runs away, and I'm like, I would too.
I know, yeah. It's like it's just being smart.
I'll deal with all these chumps later, like this Theon guy. Bye. It's like, who is this?
I'll just break his spear in half. No problem.
Yeah, it's like, who is this kid? I don't know this kid. Oh man, yeah. So that's the first 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. Jorah dies, sad. Beric dies. I will say I love the meme where it was like Holdor was hold the door and Beric was a barricade. Like, I was like, that's a good one. It's like that was a good one. That was a great meme.
Nice.
Y'all won with that one. I'll send it to you, dude, because I saw that the first time. I'm like,
yeah.
Good job. Good job.
So shoot all the sports memes and stuff with Arya. Those have been great. It's like, although they've been poking fun at the Oklahoma City Thunder with that, but still, like it stuff's pretty good. It's like they had like Damian Lillard like hitting like a last second 3 like almost from the half court line or whatever. That's like they superimposed Arya on it. I'm like, yes.
Oh man. See, like that stuff, like the Burlington bar, like when they watched that Arya scene. Like everyone's like dead quiet, and then you see Arya, they're like, yeah, and then he gets grabbed and they're like, oh, and then like there's the drop and they're like, and then the stab and they're like, oh, explode, and it's amazing. It's like that's some good stuff. And then everyone, like the same thing with like Lyanna Mormont. They're like, oh, she gets hit, and they're like, oh no, and then like she does the charge, she gets grabbed, and they're like, oh. And then, like, she stabs him in the eye, and they're like, yay! And I'm like, guys, she just died.
Wait, what part is this? Would you...
Huh?
Yeah, there's a couple of YouTube vids of reaction shots.
I'll send you links.
Yes, please.
They're like they've watched like almost every single episode of Game of Thrones. Like I think they started in like midway season 2 or season 3, and it's like at a bar, and it's all these people watching it at the bar, and then it's just their reactions to everything with a little bitty like bit at the bottom, and they're just like, here's their reactions to what's going on.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, well, it's like of all the episodes to watch in a bar, this is not the one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, this may have been the one to watch at a bar. Like, maybe not the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the first 50 minutes, like it'd be like a blank screen.
I mean, but once they get into Winterfell and like things catch fire, then it's like, oh, we have light. Then it's okay.
And I guess the big thing trending on Twitter and stuff is Arya a Mary Sue?
Oh,
that's the big thing. Everyone has an opinion.
The exact opposite.
Like she's literally been training. We've seen her train for years. Literal years we've seen her train.
She's an 18-year-old girl, and Jon Snow's a 30-something-year-old man. He should kill the Night King.
Jon Snow's like a 25-year-old man.
But he should still kill the Night King, though.
Actually, hold on. Let's see. Because in the books, Arya's 10. And Jon is 15. Yeah. So he would be a 23-year-old man. Yeah,
and he should kill the Night King.
and the Night King's like a billion.
Yeah.
He never dies.
When he
dies. Oh man. Okay, so any closing thoughts on episode 3, or any closing thoughts on the first 3 episodes?
So go ahead, Graham.
So again, I don't know as much about the books as you probably do, Josh.
They're long.
But,
and Jenny Poole, whatever happened to poor Jenny Poole? May she rest in peace in the show.
There's an article that I was reading this morning that kind of like it went on a rant about every prophecy and every and kind of just how magic in general was very kind of hyped and very kind of mystified and very like, I don't know, eye-gawking in the books. But once the show started to deviate from the books, they started to push that to the side and started to like, I don't know, a lot of the one big prophecy being about whatever, Lightbringer, and how the prince of whatever
Azor Ahai,
will defeat the Night King and end the perpetual winter or whatever, and unless Lightbringer is that dagger and now Arya is our prince of whatever, it's unless that's the case, Melisandre, her whole like character arc, her whole 8 seasons or 7 seasons worth of work was kind of just like, well, I did my job, but it didn't happen the way I thought it would. I'm conflicted.
Unless she's Lightbringer, because she does bring light.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kind of stealing that from Joanna Robinson, but.
So then she's our princess of light, then, or our princess of.
Or the fact that prophecies mean nothing in the show, so who cares?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
and all the religious
remember when Dany was going to have a kid, and it was going to be the stallion that mounts the world?
Yeah.
And it was stillborn. Yeah, remember that? It's like what happened there?
It's Drogo, darn it! No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So it's like, like prophecies literally don't mean anything.
Yeah. It's like also, it's like I think the whole like, just going from like any of those prophecies or whatever is like they're based off of like lore of like what happened in different parts of the world, right? Or whatever. So it's like Azor Ahai stuff was like in Essos, and then the stuff that's even in Westeros or whatever is like based off of like something called the Last Hero, and that's completely different than the whole Azor Ahai thing. So it's like whatever common event happened in their past history or whatever is different for how the whole thing was resolved anyway.
It's like a religion.
Yeah.
It's like different religions have like the same story, except different flow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
and we have a bunch of religious zealots in Game of Thrones that are all extremely invested in their own personal stories, and things don't pan out the way they want it.
Exactly. So it's like in the book there's a shite ton more religion than there is in the show. Like in the show, it's mainly like you got the High Sparrow. And then it was
Jesus.
like Lord of Light, and that was it.
Yep. No drowned ones.
The drowned one is like never, like hardly ever mentioned.
They reference it that whatever Theon's uncle is the drowned god, and then they like never did anything.
Well, he's like the highest of high servants of the drowned god.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, yeah, that's my uncle. Bye.
Yep.
And that's
I'm gonna go bang
Cersei. They never talk about him.
Yep. My uncle is the Grand High Priest of Cthulhu.
Yep.
Basically. Yeah. So it's Oliver, you gave your thoughts.
It's like overall for this first half of the season, it's like I'm pretty satisfied with it. You know, as I know, as we were mentioning here, is like if you're a big fan of the books or whatever, and it's like very deep invested into prophecies or whatever, it's like this is kind of like the wrong show.
You're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it's like you will be disappointed here, but it's like as from when the show started really deviating from the books, at least from what I'm aware of, like they have seeded that Arya would be somebody who could potentially be the guy that the person that would conceivably kill the Night King. You know, it's not like it came out of nowhere. You know. because they did a decent amount of foreshadowing in season 6 and season 7 with her getting the knife, and even foreshadowing in this season about sneaking up on Jon and things like that. It's just like, so it's not like they came out of nowhere.
That's a good point. They know, like they do mention like I didn't even hear you, and she was sneaking around in the Gods' Well.
Yeah. It's like pretty much Jon is the exact spot wherever the Night King was.
Yeah, and like she makes it because like there's no trees around her there because like she makes it across that entire field of snow.
Yeah,
she's like an elf. She just walks on top of it.
Yeah, and then and in the library and everything, she the only reason that any zombie was able to keep track of her is because blood was dripping on the floor. It's like her actual movements. It's
I
like
will
it didn't
say, I
affect
thought
anything.
that was weird that like after like the first 2 drips and she notices it and it drips like 2 more times. I'm like,
it's like cover your
cover your
wounds.
Like,
and she seemed a lot more clumsy there. Or like,
well, because I mean she's been hit, so I mean I think that's what I mean.
She probably got a concussion
with this. Like she's been hit. She's not like she's become this this girl now, basically. Because like Arya's never she's not been a girl for a while. Mm-hmm. She's been no one for a long time.
Yep.
Even when she was like, "This girl is Arya Stark, and I'm going home," she was still no one.
Yeah. And
then when she gets to Winterfell, she's still no one. And then she gets knocked in the head, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Arya Stark of Winterfell. I got a book.
Yeah, I got to get out of here." It's like...
Yeah, like even when she bangs Gendry, she's still no one.
Yeah, because that little look or whatever that she gives the camera or whatever, as it's like that song's playing, whatever. It's all ominous.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah.
It's very much a still she's still no one. Which, by the way, everyone was making fun of Gendry for falling asleep. Here's my thing with that. You got to think about how much stamina Arya has, because that dude. Gendry,
no, I don't want to think about that.
He rose for 4 seasons, right? He's rowing for 4 seasons. He got great upper body strength. He runs like halfway across the wilderness. Great lower body. That guy's got stamina for days. Arya tuckers him out. There you go. Have fun with that.
You put a
anyway, what do you want to see in the last 4 episodes? Sorry, last 3 episodes.
It was like the last three episodes. So I guess that they're going with everything being more of a political game and a final fight for the throne or whatever. Just make it kick ass. I mean, it's like I'm not going to judge you against the books or whatever. I know the thing is its own thing. Whatever, so it's like I'm not a book reader anyway, so it's like I don't have anything in connection to that. So just make a good end to the show. That's all I gotta say. And the first half I thought was so far been really good and very satisfying, and especially Arya being the one to take down the Night King. I thought that I was like that was a jaw dropping moment for me. It's just like I was like, oh crap.
When she pops up, it's like, it's one of those where you're like, oh my goodness, because like I was expecting. I'm like, I have no idea how they're going to get out of this. Like, literally, I have no idea how they're going to get out of this.
Yeah, I'm looking at the clock or whatever. It's like, there's like 3 minutes left here. What's going to happen?
And, like, I will say, like, they had Arya go off so long ago, I completely forgot where Arya was. Like, I completely forgot that she was like, bye, and she runs away. Like, I didn't even remember that. So, like, when that, like, popped up, it was like, oh, it's going to be Arya.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh no, she got grabbed. And then you're like, oh, the drop.
Yep.
Yep.
And ice cubes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What about you, Graham?
Time for margarita.
I want to see that all the events of episode 3, defeating the Night King, I want to see that inspire all of Westeros to back Team Good Guys. And I want to see the final showdown between Team Good Guys and Team Cersei. I really want to see like all of Westeros now turn and back Jon, Dany, their whole group, because they just saved that whole continent, and now Cersei is using mercenaries from another country to uphold her strength. So I kind of like the idea of we're now going to build up to a second major battle for who's going to sit on the throne.
You know who has a really cool army that is not doing anything?
Dorne.
Yeah.
It's like, I know that we would hate to go back to Dorne, but you know where we should go? Dorne.
Yep.
Because they have a full army that's literally been resting on a beach drinking Mai Tais. Like, they are totally fine.
And they've
been having cactus juice because it's the quenchiest. Like, that's all they've been doing.
Oh, that's another good reference.
Full of them.
It's like potentially one big bad thing about, it's like the Night King and all the dead being defeated at Winterfell, everything being contained in the north, is everybody in the south. Cersei could just be like, "Oh, that's all fake news. How do we know that you fought anybody?" It's like, ain't nobody take no images or videos that anybody took. It's like everything's on the honor system. They could just say, "Oh, fake news." Like you guys got dysentery or something. You lost half your army. It's not my fault.
Dysentery. You know that Cersei Lannister is big on Twitter. She's like, "I've got the biggest army. It's the biggerest."
Yep. Made here, right in Westeros. My Westeros army.
Yep. It's like the Mad King's daughter is all nuts, like her dad.
Yep.
Crazy Daenerys.
Oh, the parallels. Oh, the parallels.
I don't know what you're talking about, Graham. But anyway, no, I would like to see. It's one of those, like, I would like to see somebody unexpected on the throne. It won't happen, but I would like to see somebody unexpected on the throne. My boy Gendry. No.
Pie boy.
Pod the sex god.
Nah, he's fine.
So Pod the sex god, who oddly enough didn't get no sex on the last night of the world, supposedly.
Yeah. Well, nobody knows. The only two people that know about Pod are Tyrion and
Bronn. Bronn, right? And Bronn's gonna come and kill Jaime.
I hope Bronn kills Tyrion. What if Bronn kills Cersei?
He kills Brienne by accident.
I don't know if that's gonna happen because then those two characters would have to be on the screen at the same time.
See that? Well, maybe you can have Bronn like shoot an arrow in one seat and kill Cersei.
Yeah,
and just be like, "You wanted me to kill Jaime." It's like, "I want my castle, damn it." You can have Casterly Rock. It's yours, bro.
Yep.
So I see that I would like to see just something where it's like something unexpected.
Yeah. Shoot, Bronn's looking for a castle, whatever. It's like the North's like got like 4 or 5 castles that are just like up for the taking now.
Exactly. It's like Bronn.
You can have 2 castles.
You
doubling
want,
the price.
All the castles. Karstark's it's yours. Mormont's yours. Umber's yours. You can have all of them.
You can have the Night Fort, buddy.
Yeah.
Is there any point to the wall now?
So only if like the great other or whatever, the ice god or whatever, like creates a new Night King or somehow or whatever.
Because the wildlings are cool now.
Yeah, the wildlings are cool. They're down south of the wall.
You gotta keep them away from like the grungles and nargles or whatever they're called.
Narwhals.
So
narwhals. Yeah. So that I would like to see. Who do you think's dying? By the end, let's do this. Instead of who do you think's dying, who do you think survives till the end?
Sam.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If he survives till the end, I'm gonna be pissed off.
He's going to. You know.
I think he does.
That boy better stay in Winterfell. They better not take him south.
I can see that.
He stays up north.
He's going to be on the siege of King's Landing. He's just going to be crying and sprawled out.
He's going to be crying, killing the King's guards. Like,
Yep.
So, Graham, you got Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, your top 5. Who do you think survives? Top 5.
Sam. Jon or Daenerys. I don't think both of them do. I think one of them dies. I don't think they're going to give us the cliche Jon and Dany ruling over Westeros. I think one of them's going to die so that the other can rule. I honestly don't know which one because I feel like you could make a great case for either one.
Yeah.
I could also make a great case for neither one.
Yeah. Yeah. But aside from them, it's like there's so many coin flips where it's just like you could kill off these characters just for an emotional moment, like Gendry. But like at this point, now that Winterfell is saved, there's so many characters like Sansa and like, I guess Tyrion still has stuff to do, but Sansa, Bran, Arya, all the Stark kids are now like safe in my mind, unless they wanted some sort of like super heavy emotional moment.
Yeah.
They just save their home.
Yeah.
I would like for Bran not to be the three-eyed raven anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the point of the three-eyed raven? To just watch? No history?
He's like a super book.
Like, I thought he was there to, like, defeat the Night King. Like, that was, like, one of his goals, or, like, one of his purposes.
And he did, by Morgan the Rat.
And he did, so, exactly,
Arya.
so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no reason to have a three-eyed raven anymore, so maybe we can get Brandon Stark back. Not walking Brandon Stark, because, I mean, he still can't walk, because, let's not forget, episode 1, he did get pushed out a window. But
the things I do for love.
Exactly. Oh god, that was so great when he says that, and Jaime's like, "Oh shit!" Like,
It's like the little bits of Bran have broken through. Like there's that wherever it's like I'm not gonna tell anything, but I'm gonna make you remember there, Jaime.
Yeah.
And then,
when he says thank you to Theon, that's definitely not a three-eyed raven thing.
Yeah.
Because like there's even emotion when he's like, "Thank you." You're like, "Oh, Isaac Kim said right." Got to throw emotion in his stuff.
Yeah, it was like there was that, then also I guess the other line to Theon or whatever. It's like everything you did got you here. It's like that whole spiel line.
He's like home,
where you belong.
So who else? Who do you guys think? Who's a lock for you guys to survive for the rest? Gendry and Arya.
I'm saying Gendry and Arya live.
Okay.
Because I mean, my Grindaria needs to survive.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. So for me,
Tormund needs to die. Like honestly, he needs to go.
Yeah.
But he's the only wildling left.
There's like other wildlings.
No, there ain't.
There may be.
There's only him. He's the last of his kind.
Well, Jaime and Brienne. I would like Jaime and Brienne. So here's my end. All right, Jaime and Brienne, they survive.
Mm-hmm.
Bronn kills Cersei. Whatever. Jaime and Brienne survive, and then Brienne and Jaime go to be like hedge knights together, and that's where they live. They're like the best buddy cop friends going around, and I don't know. They can have cute little, blonde-headed kids. I don't care, but it's like
red hair.
I would let. They do not have red hair. You shut up. No, like I see those two. I would like to see go off and like do something they enjoy because, like their whole bit, like what made a lot of people fall in love with them was their adventures together. So I would like them to continue their adventures together.
Do Grey Worm and Melisandre did they go to a beach together?
I think she dies.
You think she dies? I heard that. You said that on stream the other night, and that made me realize something I didn't want to realize. That's much more tragic.
Because see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's a lot more tragic, but she doesn't really have a purpose in the show. Like her purpose is to stick up for Dany, but like if she were to leave, she doesn't really have a purpose anymore. Whereas Grey Worm's like he needs to like once he wins, it's like because let's face it. Grey Worm had a bit of a crappy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess Melisandre, she's also had a crap life too.
Yep, they both had one.
But I mean, Grey Worm, I'm like, he's constantly putting his life on the line, like day after day after day for her. So it's like, I would love to see him live, and like if they're gonna kill one of the two of them, I would rather it be Melisandre. But I mean, I could see them both making it out. But if they were gonna kill one, I would say let Grey Worm live. And then he actually goes to Narth and is like able to, see how beautiful it was. And then maybe he can cry. That would be kind of interesting. He sheds a tear.
The single lone manly tear.
Exactly. Because he's only cried like once, right?
Has he cried?
Has he? I want to say he has. I could be wrong on that. But no, yeah, I would like to see him, give into those emotions.
Yep.
Okay, so we got Sam and Arya and Gringe and yeah, Gringy.
Gringy.
Is it Grinchy?
My name's Gringy Baratheon.
Yep.
What about you, Oliver? Who's 11?
Okay, so who's living? I think one of the Starks got to go. I think probably John's gonna go somehow, some way. I think John's. Yeah,
I
was like
technically he is a Stark.
He's still half Stark, just like the other Starks are half Tully.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
by the way,
like,
whatever happened to Edmure Tully?
He's still in the dungeons back there. So Arya didn't let him out.
It's like, should somebody go get that man? Oh god, yeah, that's sad. You're like, bro, your uncle's down there. Oh, that's sad.
Yep. Okay, so I could see John going. Let's see out of let's start with the Fireplace crowd.
I
can see a lot of them. I can see a lot of them making it, but I feel like at least one or two gotta go. So it's like out of that I choose like Brienne, and then maybe a Pod.
You're gonna kill Brienne and Pod?
Yep.
But Knight and Squire.
It was like so Pod might get a Squire hood before.
I think Pod's been a Squire though.
He technically has been.
He's technically been a Squire for a long time.
Yes.
For like 5 years now.
Yeah, it's like they should knight him too.
Yeah. I was like, he's got to do something great in battle thow, right?
And then out of all of these,
he survived the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. He could be a knight right now. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody knight him. Brienne,
like,
knight him. Knight Gendry.
Brienne, knight his ass.
Knight everybody that lived.
Pretty much, man. Dang. It's like, speaking of all the forces over there, it's like let's say conservatively, it's like the Allies had like 30,000 people. How many are left? Like 1,200?
Maybe 5,000.
5,000.
I would say maybe 5. So that's why they need the Reeds, the rest of the North, and Dorne.
Yep.
And Edmure Tully. Maybe he can fire an arrow now. It's been a while.
And then what about Sir Davos? I feel like he feels so out of place.
Well, see,
he feels like he should be dead right now.
He doesn't fight.
He could be a good hand.
He doesn't fight. That's the thing with Davos. That's why I think Davos will live, because he doesn't fight. Because he's like, guys, if it comes to a fight, I'm bad at swords.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like when we watch a lot of it, like when we watch like this battle and everything, he wasn't like in the thick of it. He's kind of like watching Arya, because she's like kind of like protecting him a little bit, and then we don't really see him like on the wall fighting people. So he's probably like, hiding somewhere or organizing. I mean, for all we know, he was like gathering what was left of the Unsullied, and they were kind of like making a blockade or something.
Yeah,
like we don't know what was going on there, but yeah, I mean, because Davos isn't a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of hard to grip sword.
Yeah,
got them digits is weird.
I could see him going too if he's forced to fight at the end.
Yeah,
like those three, and then that'll probably be it. So Jaime Gunn too.
No, Jaime too.
Yep. So if he's gonna be the one to kill his sister, yep.
See, that's why I don't think he can. Like even they've been through so much. Like I don't think he can kill his sister. Could Cersei kill Jaime? Yes, totally. But I don't think that Jaime could kill Cersei. So that's why I would love for Bronn to do it. It would be like a total, because like one, he doesn't really care about Cersei. And she's just trying to make him kill the 2 people that he actually likes.
Yep.
The 2 people that he has saved for no money. So, like, he likes them.
Yep.
So, that's why I think, he could pull a difference and, like, pop her.
Yeah. I was like, I could see Jaime going after Cersei. It's like if for sure it's like Bronn actually does try to take a shot at him or Tyrion or whatever and just misses or something like that. Like there's an actual attempt on both of them.
Yeah.
Then I could see Jaime being in a place wherever he could kill Cersei.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Yep. We shall see.
We shall definitely see, and we'll see how close we were in 3 weeks.
Yep. So out of the fireside groups, like pretty much that's just like Tyrion and Davos at the end, and
Davos,
Tormund.
yeah.
And Tormund.
I would love for the entire fireside group, and then like at the end of the series, like you see them and they all go back to the fireside, and Tyrion's just like, "Told you."
Yeah. It's like, is Tyrion actually going to be able to finish his joke, the Imps Delight, or whatever he's talking about? He's tried to say, but is always cut off. You think he ever finishes that joke?
No. I would love for him never to be able to finish it.
Yep.
It's like they end the show with that, and it cuts off and fades to black.
It's like The Sopranos. He's like in the middle. He's like,
So
guys, I have a joke. Bum, 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 bum.
Yep.
Tyrion gets taken up by Bronn at that point, just like Tony Soprano.
Bron's like, I hate that joke. Yeah. Oh man. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on and chatting with me, and we'll do it again in 3 weeks.
Alrighty.
Oliver, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @OhWhereAreYou. That's pretty much it.
All right, and Grammykins.
Cool. You can follow me on Twitter.
Hold on, my little Teddy Graham, my little Graham. Where can they find you?
I love that you call me Grammykins, because that goes way back from me.
Oh, really? Did somebody ever call you Grammykins?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It just makes me laugh every time you call me that.
Perfect.
But yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at GRRRAHAMT. That's Graham T with 3 R's in it, because
Graham.
Yep.
Grr.
I'm always
Scurvy.
mad. I'm always mad about something.
And you got a show?
And I do have a show. I have a show on the Unlocked app. You can follow me there on the Anime Book Club there. You can see me every Sunday night. I stream at 8:30, and sometimes I stream whenever Josh is on. Make sure to try to pop in.
Oh,
Yep.
total. Oh, I'm missing my stream tonight.
Oh.
So you can have it an hour later.
No,
Yeah.
forget that, dude. I'm tired.
But it's like we're almost done here. You can hop right on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Let's say
edit.
that
I'm gonna edit
oh.
this though.
We still have another hour because
I'm gonna edit this though.
You can edit it after.
I don't want to edit it after. So you can find that on the Unlocked app.
Yep.
And what do you do on the Anime Book Club?
Oh, we talk about Avengers Endgame and Avengers movies in general.
Smart.
Yeah, love them there. And we talk about how much I love the sequels and Star Wars. But in general, what we've gotten back into the swing of doing is we pick a show, we take 2 weeks to watch it, then we just talk about it. And now we've gotten back into getting the very, very nice voice actors that stream on the Unlocked app to pop in. We just had Damon Mills last week to talk about some Nambaka, which was a lot of fun.
Damon's such a cool dude.
He is. He's absolutely lovely.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's a fun little. The Unlocked app in general is a fun little app.
Exactly. Definitely a fun little
Yeah.
app. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. You can find the podcast on Instagram at Animation Station Podcast, on Twitter at Animate Podcast. All of our episodes are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play. Basically anywhere that you can download a podcast, we are there. You can also go to our website, animationstationpodcast.com. May is our anime-themed month, so instead of just doing a regular anime, we're doing Tooname. So we're doing all kinds of, basically all of the anime that premiered on Toonami. So we've got a nice little smorgasbord of fun there, and a sprinkling of voice actors who have been in some of your favorite shows that will be gracing us with their presence. All right. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got. So,
All right.
Ollie, Graham, thanks for coming on.
It's been fun.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, for the Animation Station podcast, I'm Josh.
I'm Oliver.
And I'm Graham.
Bye-bye, little butterfly.
It's been a real slice.
Graham, catchphrase. Graham, you gotta do a sign-off catchphrase.
Go out there and have fun, guys. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Bum bum ba ba 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 bum.
Wow, that was awful.
Yeah.